the reason there's a festival here, because 50 years ago, I was cleaning the park. And as a groundskeeper, I would look here, and my dream was to put on an ukulele festival. So I decided to put one on at that young age. But I'm so thankful that the ukulele now has spread around the world, because that was one of my dreams, to see the ukulele just go out throughout the whole world and become something special to people, like how it became special to me.
Well, Uncle Roy, it's great to see you. I'm so honored to be doing this with you. This is amazing.
Well, thank you. Thank you for doing this to commemorate the 50 years, because you've been a big part of it all these years, many years.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I thank you for inviting me.
You're
And
welcome.
it's
Yeah.
such an honor.
Thank
So, 50 years is, I mean, unprecedented. This is incredible. And when I think of the ukulele, and I think of the three godfathers of the ukulele, right? For me, the first three is, of course, Eddie Kamai, who taught Ota-san, and then Ota-san, who taught you. What drew you to the ukulele?
Actually, I'd have to go back to my young days, when I was like 12 or 14 years old. I had no sense of rhythm because I grew up in a family that never turned on the radio. So everybody gave up on me. They said, you'll never learn how to play the ukulele. But it was at age 16, there was a song on the radio called Sushi by Ota-san. And I can't explain it, but I fell in love with that song. And lo and behold, my good buddy, my friend says, hey, Roy, look at this in the newspaper. Ota-san is giving lessons. And I went to see him and asked him if he would teach me. And he took me on as a student. And I'll tell you, holding the ukulele in my hands and learning to play from him, I understood. I understood what he was trying to explain to me. And I finally could start learning to play the ukulele. And I studied and studied and studied, fell in love with this instrument. My goal was to beat him as how good he was. I wanted to play better than him. But the funny thing is, the better you become, you realize how great the teacher is.
Hawaii's living treasure, Ota-san!
One day, he said, you know what? I'm going to start a class of adults. Would you like to come and help me? I said, what do I have to do? He says, all you have to do is tune up the ukuleles. So I did that during the first lesson. And then he tells me, by the way, I'm going to Japan. You teach my students. And I was petrified. I said, I don't know what to do. He says, just do what I do and teach. So I practice every day for hours. Finally, that day comes where I have to teach them. And I wasn't even nervous at all. That I fell in love with teaching. And when he came back, Ota-san asked me, how was it? And I said, I loved it. And that's when he said, would you like to teach my students? And he let me teach from that day forward. I started to teach his students, not realizing that for the rest of my life, I would be dedicating my life to teaching.
About how long were you a student of Ota-san's before he offered you that opportunity?
I was a student of his for 18 months. And that's when he told me to quit. I didn't want to quit, but he told me, go on your own and develop your own style. There is nothing more I can teach you. You've learned everything there is. All you got to do is develop your own style. So he was my teacher. He was my mentor to get me into teaching the ukulele. And he gave me the encouragement to open my own studio. He's been the greatest mentor in my life.
Because of Roy having his ukulele festival, they have ukulele festivals all over the mainland, I'm proud of him because he brought the ukulele forefront. He's also compassionate, He understands how others feel.
Dave, you sound great. Hey, give me 5 there. Okay.
To Roy and Kathy, congratulations on the 50th anniversary of the Ukulele Festival. Sorry you couldn't do the festival itself.
When I was dating Kathy, I wanted to introduce Ota-san to my girlfriend. And Ota-san was playing at the canoe club of the Ilikai Hotel. And in those days, those lines were so long to get to see his show. Well, I arranged it so I can sit right in the middle of the audience facing the stage. And during the first intermission, he walks up to Kathy and I, but he doesn't come to me, he goes straight to Kathy. And he goes, "What you doing here?" And Kathy goes, "I'm with Roy. How's your mom and dad?" And I'm thinking, what's happening over here? Where's this going, you know? And then after talking to her for a little while, he walks away. And I asked Kathy, "What was that all about?" And she says, "Oh, he's my cousin." What? And she tells me, "I didn't want to tell you because I know how much you admire Ota-san, and I didn't want that to affect the relationship we have with one another." So it was a beautiful thing that she was doing, but I was totally caught off guard when she told me that, you know. Yeah.
I love that story because I think it just reveals the kind of heart and humility, you know, that she has.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yeah, she has an amazing heart.
The partnership with the two of you, the team that you share, it's so it's incredible. You know, it's one in a million, and
It would not be the way it is today without her support. She is without a doubt what carries me on, what gives me the strength. She likes to stay in the background because, you know, just because of the festival and I guess because of the years dedicated to ukulele, you see my name a lot. But really, her name should be right at the top. You know, I know she's doing it because she wants to support me, but at the same time, she's thinking of all the children, and that's where her heart is.
yeah. How instrumental is, you know, Auntie Kathy with all of this, you know, with just everything that it's grown to. Because I know how
Yes.
she is just
She's
such a key
more
element.
instrumental than I think anyone can ever imagine
Mhm.
because of the dedication she puts into making everything right. And if you look back on all the years of the history of the festival, when we first started with the children and performers, and then we added ukulele tent for giving free lessons, we added a children's tent for coloring, we added the bouncers, the sliders, we added a second stage. All these things were from my wife who would talk to me, Roy, let's do this, let's do this. Let's make it more enjoyable for the families to stay there the whole day and have their kids participate in other activities. It was her passion to see that everyone in the audience was taken care of, not just the entertainers, not just the performers, but for everyone to enjoy. And you see everybody with smiles. I think that's one of the beautiful things I've heard from people. You go to the festival, you don't know each other, but you see smiles all over. It's like you know one another, you know. That was a great, it's great to hear those comments.
Yeah.
We're all so thankful to all the volunteers and to our sponsors. The city and county started off as our sponsor because I was working for the city, and they actually encouraged me to take it to the next level on my own. They wanted me to do it. The mayor called me into his office and said, "You can do it." And it's really difficult for me to ask, people to help. But it came to the point I had to, and I was so surprised when I walked in someplace and I asked if you could help us. Jake, all these years, I've rarely had anyone say no. We've had Starbucks, we had Appliance Parts, and now we have Tony Group Autoplex, who supports us as a title sponsor. And then we have people like Diamond Head Seafood and Diotani Produce and LRY Resources, Honolulu Disposal. All these companies, and all the ukulele sponsors, Kamaka, Ko'olau, Ko'aloha, and Kanilea, Kala Ukulele, and so many more ukulele companies. And the beautiful thing, I was talking to Fred and Chris Kamaka the other day, and I said, look at the first annual Ukulele Festival poster, display by Kamaka. They've been there every single
beginning.
year. So thank you to all our sponsors, because without their support and all our volunteers, we couldn't be having this festival.
Uncle Roy, Auntie Kathy, I just want to say congratulations on 50 years. Thank you for introducing the ukulele to the world. Thank you for inspiring me to play. I wouldn't be playing today if it weren't for you. So thank you for just inspiring so many people to pick up this wonderful instrument. And, like you always say, I think the ukulele can definitely change the world. So thank you very much and congratulations.
Tony Group Autoplex in Waipio is Hawaii's auto mall, where more than 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles are in stock and ready for immediate delivery, including Honda, Nissan, Volkswagen, Hyundai, Genesis, and more. Shop now and save at TonyGroupAutoplex.com.
There was never an ukulele festival anywhere prior to the first annual one at the Kapiolani Park Bandstand, right? I mean, this. Some people thought you were crazy.
Yeah.
And they thought, what? And then you wanted to, your vision was to also make it a free event.
Yes.
Right? And people thought you were crazy, right?
Yes.
So what drove you to not give up and to...
The passion in my heart, the love in my heart, to once you do the first festival and you see the smiles on the children's faces, it brings so much joy. It really does. And the reason why I wanted to keep it free is because I wanted families to come. I didn't want it a paid event. And I remember years later, my wife and I was approached to put the festival in Waikiki Shell, charge admission, and then we could make money. We couldn't do it. We wanted to always keep it free for everyone to enjoy. And so now as we approach 50 years and to see that it's been free all these years, we're very thankful.
I'd like to congratulate Roy and Kathy on 50 years of the festival and 50 more years. How's that, Roy? Good.
This all started over 25 years ago. Every day, we work together. Every day, we eat together and play together. Every day, our hands and hearts are guided by the goal of sharing joy with each strum. Every day, we put our love into each ukulele we make and hope to earn your love. We are Ko'aloha.
The Ukulele Festival has grown immensely over the last few decades. And when you look out in the audience, the thousands of people out there just smiling, enjoying the performances. What is it about the ukulele that just brings people from all walks of life together?
It's something about the instrument, that it just draws you in. From the days of Ota-san to the days of all these great musicians over the years. There's a magic to the instrument, and I do believe, and it goes back, that it's the simplicity that people want to just come and listen. And now, if you mention the word ukulele, just about everyone knows what that is. It's really changed. I'm so thankful to see how this ukulele festival in 1971 started as just like a little pebble. You throw it in the water. And then slowly it just spreads. And now it's gone all over the world. Every year we have this medal that we give away to children. It was hard to keep on paying for this. And I remember telling Kathy that, honey, we're going to have to stop presenting medals because we don't have the money. And she said, no, Roy, I don't care what you have to do, but we're going to keep on getting those medals. We have to. Then she shared with me a story, and now I understood. She said that after the festival one year, she'll never forget that when the child came in for the lesson, the child was wearing the medal. And she said, wow, you have your medal on. And then the grandmother walks up to Kathy and tells Kathy, he has not taken off that medal for 7 days. He refuses to take it off. It's something that he's so proud of. And that was a moment that captured my wife's heart. And that's why she said, we will always give out a medal. And I'm thankful for that because, now thanks to sponsors and people that help us, this souvenir medal for all the children and the people from around the world, it's a memory that they're going to keep. And we have people that email us from around the world that they have all the medals on their wall.
As you see these children grow and you see them become adults and get out into the real world or go to college, and is that what kind of led to the scholarship program?
It was my wife who brought that up to us. Said we should have a scholarship program to help children in need. And I thought it was a great idea. I think it was about 10 years ago or longer, we presented a scholarship, but it continued to grow. And we started to offer more scholarships. And there's an interesting story about this. So as we teach at the studios, we had a lot of adults, and they would just learn the lesson, leave, learn the lesson and leave. And then every time we come close to the ukulele festival, they would say, hey, here's a donation. I notice you're giving scholarships, this. And I said, well, what, And they say, we notice how all you and Kathy and your staff trains these younger kids who are going to be graduating from high school and pursuing college. We want to help them because we've seen them grow as kids into role models as teachers. And so they would offer these donations to our nonprofit to help kids. We had just a wonderful staff of instructors that all believed in what we were doing, and they were so loyal. This is something that my wife and I have talked about for years. They are so loyal. They just embrace what we're trying to do, and they follow our lead. They have this heart in them to really care. And that's something that I hope my wife and I will look back to all our instructors. If there's one thing that they can carry out from being with us, is to have the heart of compassion, to be gracious, to love others. I do believe when you have the heart to help, the heart to do things good, and you're always helping others, and you're young, it gives you a great foundation to build your life on.
I hope this whole train breaks down and I could take a walk around and see that there is to see, 'cause time is just a melody with all the people in the street walking fast as the feet can take them. I just roll through town. My window's got a view, but the frame I'm looking through seems to have no concern for now. And so I need this here old train to break down. Oh, please just let me please break down. This engine screams out loud, centipede gonna crawl westbound. So I don't even make a sound, 'cause it's gonna sting me when I leave this town. The people in the street that I'll never get to meet, these tracks don't bend somehow. And I got no time that I got to get to where I don't need to be. And so I need this here old train to break down. Oh, please just let me please break down. So you can't stop wishing if you got no control. The thoughts in your mind that you kept in your know. You keep on rolling, put the moment on hold. The phrase
Aloha, Kameawa, Danny Kalikini. Ha'ole lahanau to the Ukulele Festival, 50 years young. Thank you, Roy and Kathy Sakuma, for letting me be part of this wonderful event every year. God bless you for your continued success. Aloha, ke akua.
Uncle Roy, one of the things that I've always appreciated about the festival, and I don't think I really grasped how fortunate I was as a kid playing in the festival, but you always brought the best musicians, you know, to serve in either the house band as a rhythm section or the artists that you would bring in. And that was always a highlight, right, for us.
But if you remember when you played in the band, some of those songs were not really that simple to play. And there were a lot of chord changes. And I knew that if we had good musicians or great musicians, they would know just exactly what to play to bring out the beauty of the song. We had Nolan Kimoto on drums. He was amazing, and he plays with us every year. In the earlier part, we had Lyle Rich, who was one of the top recording bass players in the nation. And he was with us for many years. And then after Lyle, we had Benny Ritfield, who is now Santana's bass player. And now we have Dean Kaba, who teaches at the University of Hawaii all these youth orchestras and everything. So we've had great musicians that have played with us over the years, including Howard Roberts. And Howard Roberts in the 1960s, 70s was considered one of the great jazz guitarists in the world. And a funny story about Howard, he told me it is the only time in all the years that he performed professionally that when he traveled, he forgot to bring his guitar. He was so excited to come to Hawaii, he forgot his guitar. It's a funny story. But of course, we got him a guitar. You know?
You know, some of my earliest memories of the Ukulele Festival was just hearing Uncle Danny. You know, he was kind of the voice, you know, the voice of the festival every year. And could you speak about your friendship or how that started out?
Early on, I want to find an MC that is so powerful, that's good. When he's on stage, he commands the audience. I said, I really wish I could get Danny Kalakini. I knew that Danny plays at the Kahala Hilton. The show starts at 9 o'clock. So I told my wife, at about 8:50, I'm going to call. And so I called and got to the dressing room. The guy says, oh, Danny's not here. Call back. I call back again. And finally the guy says, oh, yeah, I think Danny's here. Just a minute. Danny! So he comes to the phone, and I think his show starts at 9 o'clock. I start talking so fast. Danny, this works, I want to put on a ukulele festival. And he said, whoa, hold. Wait, what is this? What is this all about? So then I explained to him real quickly. He says, brother, come tomorrow morning and have breakfast with me. That's what he said. Come tomorrow morning and have breakfast. So I went the next morning, sat down with him, shared my passion for the ukulele, and he said, I will come and be your MC. And you know what, Jay? Danny's been there every year since. And I really thank Danny because, like you say, when he's on stage, it's not just his MCing, but when he sings, oh, he just brings that, his voice is amazing. Yeah.
Take it away, Nick. My grandson, Nicholas Hulali Stoner Kalekini.
I know that you also had a very close relationship, you know, with the late James Ingram. Could you share a little bit about, you know, how you guys met? And he was very active, you know, in coming to the festival and performing. And That was such a treat. What an amazing opportunity for the kids.
This is how it all started. Every Sunday, I would go to University of Hawaii and warm up by walking around the track field to play basketball with all the UH boys and other guys that would come down. And I saw these two guys lying on the side of the track. They were all dripping with sweat. I thought they were UH football players. So I said hi. And as I walked around again, they were still there. So I started talking to them. Hey, are you UH football players? They said, no. They started laughing. And James says, oh, we just came back from Southeast Asia or something like that. He said, and I said, what were you doing? He said, oh, just doing a little music. He's so humble, right? And I said, oh, what do you do? He says, oh, I play a little keyboards. So I said, oh. And then he reaches out his hand and he says, hi, I'm James Ingram. And so I go, hi, I'm Roy Sakuma. I had no idea that this was the famous singer of the song Somewhere Out There. We just had a great conversation. And they were so nice that I invited them all to dinner. So that afternoon, I'm home, and I love football, so I'm watching the Pro Bowl on TV at the Aloha Stadium Pro Bowl. And they say, ladies and gentlemen, for your halftime entertainment, James Ingram. And I go, whoa, I thought, Kathy, that's the guy I saw this morning, And she said, you don't know who he is? And I said, no. And so I called him up the next morning, and he's laughing. He says, Roy, I knew that you had no idea who I am. And I have to be arrogant if I think everyone's going to know who I am. That was the beginning of a lifelong friendship that my wife and I had with James and his wife, Debbie. I told him about the Ukulele Festival. He had asked his manager, am I free that weekend? And the manager said, yes. He told him, I will come and sing at your festival. You don't have to pay me. James was mesmerized by Iz's voice. So here comes Iz now to the Ukulele Festival. And James is there, right? And so when Iz went up to sing, and I believe he sang, what's the Somewhere Over the Rainbow? Or is that the song? Yeah. James went right up there, right up front to listen to Iz. And he just said, wow. He said, Roy, this guy's voice is so special. It was James just knew, And right after the performance, as Iz sat on stage, James came over there right next to Iz and took this beautiful photo. It's just a great memory of two icons, one from Hawaii and one from the mainland, being together, and the highest respect for one another. Yeah. The stories, honestly, are so endless of all the great ambassadors that have performed at the festival. And you share many messages at the festival. Every time you come, you share a message to the children, to the students, to the parents. You always take the time to talk about your passion.
Congratulations to Roy and Kathy on this special event, 50 years. Wow. I can remember the first one with Dad. Oh my goodness. But it's a pleasure being a part of this, and much aloha to both of you.
We love you.
Aloha.
Glenny.
Oh, my innocent child, I will spare the untruth and the beautiful days, the sweet candy days, those magical days of my youth.
My wife and I never wanted to hold a recital. We didn't want to make people compete. So we thought the beautiful way was to have them perform in the Ukulele Festival. And they are the stars. And I recall calling all the entertainers like you and all the great entertainers that performed at the festival. I would share that I hope you don't mind playing just 2 songs. Just 2 songs. And give the stage back to the children. Let the children be the stars of the show. And everyone said okay. They all played just a couple of songs because they understood that the stars of that day are actually the children.
Necesito una boca de Gracia, una boca de Gracia y otro rinconcito y arriba y arriba, allá arriba y arriba.
Because it's fun and it's energetic. Playing ukulele is more fun.
It takes away all my, problems or my stress for the day.
Because it's fun. Because it's fun. Is this fun?
It's just life itself.
Congratulate Roy and Kathy for 50 years of the Ukulele Festival, bringing happiness to the people of Hawaii and of all the keiki that play the ukulele. And I wish that the board of directors, along with Roy and Kathy, with their blessings, to continue this festival for years to come.
Years ago, we had as a guest the Reverend Abraham Akaka, and he plays the ukulele, and he came up on stage, but before he played a song, he shared something which really, today, I believe this message is so true. He said, you have 4 strings on the ukulele, and you could look at it as the different races of the world. It's 4 strings, and when you hit one string, that note stands alone, just one note. But when you hit the 4 strings together, you create this beautiful harmony. And that is so important that I think we should all embrace as we continue living our lives. We can be alone and just be one note, or we can be together and create beautiful harmony. I went through a lot of hardships as a child. I was born with a physical handicap, that my right ear is really small. And because it's small, from a little boy, I got teased, and my mother, being mentally ill, could not help me. So I was deeply hurt. I felt ugly, I felt unappreciated, I felt worthless. Many times I just felt like giving up on life. I cut out of school every single day. If I had to really be quite honest, I would have to say that the love for the ukulele saved my life. I mean, that's how much I was struggling. But it was listening to that song when I was 16 years old, and I was already on probation from juvenile court. So I thought that at 18, I would end up in prison. But hearing that song and starting to learn to play the ukulele took me far away from where I was, so sad and hurt. And that gave me a joy that I never had in my life. As I got older, I met a girl, and that girl was Kath. And as I started to date her, never saying the word love in my life because I didn't understand it, I finally told her one day that I love you and will you marry me? And she said yes. And I went home so happy. For the first time in my life, I went home and laid in bed happy. And the next morning I woke up Jake and I started crying. And I knew I had to let her go. And this broke my heart. And we went out on a date and I told her, please listen to me. And then I started to tell her everything about me was a fake. That I was faking to be happy. I was faking to be this cool guy. And everything I was doing was a fake. I was hiding all this insecurity in me that was just shutting me down. But yet during the day, I had this other image of being cool and everything. I revealed every single insecurity, shame, anything that bothered me. I revealed to her because I wanted to give her 100 reasons why she should walk away from me. And it's not that I didn't want to marry her. I wanted her to know what a mixed up person I was. When I finished saying all these things to her, her first words to me were, I never saw it as your weaknesses. I see it as your strengths. She said we can make it. She was willing to stay with me and try to help me get through all my insecurities. Little did I realize, when I had revealed everything to her, and she still wanted to try and work things out with me, I had spoken everything. It released me. And I believe over time, all of those things that clamped and held me down left. And it almost like it cleansed my whole body. It's like my heart became clean. And that is when love started to enter, this incredible love. And it continues to fill me. And it is that love that has inspires me and the passion to love my wife even more, to just love people. If all of us could somehow go inside and talk about the things that we are so ashamed about and hide, it will free us, because it's like having an invisible barrier. But when you say these things, the barrier goes away. See, what we think of our weaknesses that we hide can actually be our strengths. It will be. That's where that song came from. I am what I am, you know. And I remember singing that first verse when I sang, you know. People wonder where I'm going, people watch me do my thing, people ask me who I am. Here's what I say, and then I went into I am what I am, I'll be what I'll be. Look, can't you see that it's me, all of me? I mean, those words just gave me so much hope in life, Jay. Those words. And I'm so thankful that we selected this song for everyone throughout the world to join with us to sing and play this song, because it's much needed. And if you really listen to the words, my wife says the third verse is the one that touches her. See them going their own way, see them doing their own thing. They begin to understand. Now they sing with me.
Wonder where I'm going. People watch me do my thing. People ask me who I am. Here's what I say. I am what I am. I'll be what I'll be. Look, can't you see that it's me, all of me? I am what I am. I'll be what I'll be. Look, can't you see that it's me? Now myself I'd like to be reaching out, feeling free, doing good where I can, with this in my heart. I am what I am. I'll be what I'll be. Look, can't you see that it's me, all of me? I am what I am. I'll be what I'll be. Look, can't you see that it's me? See them going their own way, see them doing their own thing. They begin to understand. Now they sing with me. I am what I am. I'll be what I'll be. Look, can't you see that it's me, all of me? I am what I am. I'll be what I'll be. Look, can't you see that it's me? Look, can't you see that it's me?